everybody, and hope you're doing well, or welcome back to another video. This is match day 1 of my Bookish World Cup. I think I'm going to call it that. I'm not too sure. I'm actually filming this video before I've done all of my intro related stuff, which I'm going to film in a bit. In this video, it's going to be a reading vlog of the 2 books that have been picked to represent Switzerland and Spain, which was the first pairing from the round of 16 in the Women's World Cup. And for Switzerland, we have All Days and Nights by Peter Stamm, translated from German by Michael Hoffman. And for Spain, we have Dogs of Summer by Andre Abreu, translated from Spanish by Julia Sanchez. I'm gonna split the page numbers of each book into 3, divide it by 3, read that amount of the first country, and then read the designated amount of that one, and then that, and then that, and then that, and then pick the winner and just sort of like do the vlogging as I go about within each of the matches, and then just see how it progresses throughout. This is the first time I'm doing something like this, but I'm really excited. So it is sort of all just like trial and error as I go along, so you're just sort of sticking with me as I'm going along on this journey. Hopefully it's going to be fun. There might be some like setbacks, some like changes, I don't really know, but I'm really excited to start this. I have actually started reading All Days and Night. I started it maybe about a week or 2 ago, and I have read up to page 58. I am gonna just read the last little bit to get to 60, which I've just realized, which I just calculated is my designated amount of time. It's third person, but it follows the main character of Gillian, who she seems to like have it all. She has like a nice husband, like quite a well paying job in like a journalist sort of like interviewer person that like quite a few people know, and she gets to like interview like famous people, and it's going quite well, and she's quite like rich, I guess, and things are going quite well for her. It seems all good on the surface, but it starts with like a car crash in like the middle of the night, and she wakes up the next day sort of thing, a widow, and her husband Matthias was killed in the car crash, and her face has been like ruined, and she has to have like surgeries done to like put it right. And so like with this like happening, she has to sort of like think back to her past, like the past like few like year, I guess, maybe, and a bit before, and just sort of like see her life and how she's going to move forward, and also like how things were progressing before then. At the moment it's okay, it's nothing amazing currently, it's just fine. The characters are like, the main character is all right. I am quite interested to see like what happened in like the moments before the events that led up to the party and the car crash, and just like seeing that. But yeah, I am, it's not blowing me away currently at the moment. So Switzerland isn't in the best place at the moment, but hopefully we've still got like 2/3 left, so we've still got quite a bit of the book left to hopefully pick up pace. But we will be going on to Spain coming on very soon, and if you follow suit with your country's progression in the actual Women's World Cup, then you have a lot to prove. So yeah, I'm excited to get onto this one, and I shall talk about that when I've actually started reading some of it. Hey, so I have read the first third of Dogs of Summer whilst I was out today, and I've got to page 55, so I'm going to put this aside and go back to reading All Days Are Nights, and I'm actually kind of really enjoying this. So the main character, I don't think she's been named yet. She might have, but I've sort of maybe glossed over it. But it's sort of her. She's like a 10-year-old girl, and it's sort of like the summer in Tenerife, and like school's finished, and she is there on the island with her best friend Isora, or Isora, and they're sort of like two peas in a pod. Isora makes this like analogy that like they're like two yogurts, like because like yogurts like always like sold like in like a set sort of idea, and like they do like everything together, and they really like want to like go to like the nearby beach, but there's nobody there to like take them, so they're just sort of like just going around the neighborhoods and just like talking, and just nothing's really much happening, but it's just sort of about like the characters. And the main character, she like loves Izora and like everything about her, and it's sort of like this friendship is like really good, but there's like an undercurrent of like she's just taking like everything that Izora like gives, and isn't really participating, I guess, in some sense, but she doesn't particularly mind. But at the same time, it's possible that this could lead to something, I don't know. But yeah, I am kind of really enjoying this, and I am hooked. I want to read more. So yeah, so the first 30 minutes has been played of the first match, and Switzerland has held up their defences quite well. They have had quite a few attacks, quite a few chances at Spain's goal, but they haven't managed to score a goal yet. Whereas Spain, I think Spain did get quite an early goal, just with the characters and the realness and the relationships between them, and just this like simmering like undertone that I can really like get on board with, and it's really hooked me from the start, literally from the first like 2 lines, and that was a very, very early goal to get. So Switzerland, you kind of need to sort of do something extra to make sure you get one back to get on level terms, or Spain, you might need to falter for Switzerland to get back into the match at the moment. But it's only 1-0 at 30 minutes, still got 60 minutes left of the game, and we shall see what happens in the rest of it. So it's going okay. Switzerland still hasn't scored a goal, but they're trying. That's the main thing, they are trying. Hey, so I've got a little update on the first match. So we're up to the 60-minute mark. There's only half an hour left to play of each book. So let's start with All Days Are Night update. So basically, like I said, it's about the main a woman, Gillian, but now it's gone into like part 2. It's focusing on another character who was in her life for a bit of time, and like an artist, photographer person, Hubert, and yeah, so it's sort of like gone on to like his storyline now, and she's not really in it anymore. But basically in his one, it's just sort of like a breakdown of his marriage, and he's gone to this like place like in like the countryside or like the mountains, ready to make a new piece to show it like a event thing. This again it's like I said, they're sort of trying, but they still haven't got any goals. I think it's just a little bit flat, and I'm not really that engaged with any of the characters or the storylines that much, that I'm just not really excited to pick it up when I do. But let's still continue, and then there's meant to be like a part 3, which I just like, because I was a little bit confused on actually what this book sort of was, and then this part seems to focus on, I believe, someone called Jill, who I guess we meet late a bit more in Hubert's story, possibly. I'm not sure, I don't think she was in Gillian's, but let's do an update on that one. Then whilst I was out today, I got to the 60-something% mark of Dogs of Summer. I'm still enjoying this. It's sort of like how I was presuming it might have gone, a bit like their sort of relationship is very like close and good, and it's a strong bond, but at the same time it can only work for so long. And the main character, who I still don't think she's been named yet, I don't know, is just sort of like just showing her admiration for Izora still. It's getting a little bit repetitive, and it's a little bit like gross as well, some of the scenes, and it's just a little bit uncomfortable as well. Clearly Izora definitely does have like an eating disorder and like a problem, and it's not really being addressed by like anyone in her family, especially her grandmother that she lives with. And she is sort of like putting her on diets, and like she just has like a bad relationship with food. And yeah, so I'm hoping to maybe see if that can get like addressed a bit more. But yeah, it's very weird. But there's a little update for that. It is burning hot. Oh my god, can you like see I'm like wet? I just went out today on like the second hottest day of the year, I think. But anyway, that's an update. I'm gonna finish reading these. I don't know when, because obviously it's been a bit of time since I made the first installment of these video vlog, but reading more and come back at you with the final result. So we're still 1-0 going into the final 30 minutes. Hey, so I ended up finishing both of these books, and therefore the first match has now ended. let me quickly like talk about this one and like sort of how it ended and how things went by. So basically we were just following Hubert a bit, and then it went to Jill, but like Jill is actually Gillian from the start. Yeah, so and then we sort of go back to her perspective. I found this book was all right. Like it was okay-ish. I'm not too sure what I'm going to give it star wise. I'm thinking maybe like 2.5 possibly. I don't know, I didn't really like this book. I think it wasn't too bad in how it was trying to portray these two characters, Gillian and Hubert, and sort of this fact that that like what you see on the outside isn't the same on the inside. But it just, a lot of it was just very sort of slow, and there wasn't really much to it, and I couldn't really get on board with the characters or like any part of the storyline much like at all. And just overall it just wasn't the most interesting or enjoyable reading experience. I just kind of wanted it to end quite a lot of the time when I was reading it, and that's not really a good thing for a book this short. So yeah, Switzerland didn't end up getting any goals in this match. Whereas Spain, like I said, they got one early goal because of the characters and how it hooked me from the start. And at the end of the match, it has ended just 1-0. Spain nearly actually got an own goal near the end, because I just felt as the book was going on more so, it was just becoming far too repetitive and far too like crass, and just these like unpleasant, uncomfortable situations and scenarios. I didn't really see the point in them much. I did understand that it is quite a lot to do with like growing up and like female sexuality and like going through sort of like puberty and becoming like and more of an adult in a way, and how this like impacts like your body and also your mind. But I just felt that these unpleasantries was just too much, and there wasn't really trying to say anything properly with them, and it just wasn't really that nice to read, I guess. The first like 3/4 of the book, it sort of is just sort of like the same thing, just the main character and Isora just going about, and then it's sort of like a climactic event sort of thing, and then the book goes a little bit in a different way, but then it sort of doesn't as well. And I don't know, I just felt I was just getting quite bored of it as it went along, and I just wasn't really enjoying it much anymore. So yeah, so Spain did win, but I don't know how they're going to fare for the rest of the competition. They're going to be going up against either Japan or Norway, which is match day 2, so stay tuned for that. But we shall see how the competition progresses from now. I hope you enjoyed today's video. And make sure to stay tuned and look into the playlist for when the next matchday vlog comes out. Goodbye Switzerland, you can go home now, and Spain will progress. Anyway, have a nice day everybody, and I shall see you very soon. Bye.